Is Texas a special place? I mean, is it a different place than any place else in the United States? Or is
Sure
it
it
just...
is. We're a bipolar state. Very progressive in some places, and some we're, you know, the usual brontosaurus material. We're somewhat backwards, but that's part of our charm. And I really like that. We're not pretentious. People in New York and Washington, I mean, if something didn't happen in their office, they don't believe it happened.
In what way is Texas progressive?
Austin led a lot of things. It led musically, culturally, the whole outlaw movement when the rednecks and the hippies got together, and Willie Nelson realized this. He said he jumped in front of that parade, and it was very successful. So, yeah, Texas is progressive. It's been progressive all through history. To get the full effect of Texas, really the further you are away from it, the more clearly you can see it. And I've been in a lot of places overseas, and the children of the world look to Texas. I mean, the adults may look outside of America. They may look to Las Vegas. I don't know what else they... but the children, and this is partly Hollywood, but remember the Hollywood movies were all filmed, they weren't filmed in Texas. They were filmed in where? New Mexico, Arizona, or on movie sets in Hollywood. But everybody thinks Texas, that's the cowboy. And now just one more thing, the children in Vietnam, very smart kids. You can just see how curious they are and they love America. And my sister was once was head of the Red Cross over there, the American Red Cross, I think, in Hanoi. And there was a guy that handled the comparable Vietnamese Red Cross, and he had been a commander of the North Vietnamese in the war, in the Vietnam War. And he told her that as a kid he always saw American cowboy movies growing up, and that when the war came, he was heartbroken to realize that he was fighting the cowboys, that the cowboys were on the other side. And so I think the cowboy spirit rides pretty high in the firmament. Also true of Anne Frank. When they revisited the annex after the war, she was a big fan of American cowboy stars. So these were all tacked to her walls. They were still there after the war. So you never know who you're going to reach in this world. And I think Texas has a mythology second to none.
Going back to Rick Perry and the Texas model, which is small government, low taxes, low regulations, no unions. Some people say that is the future of America. Do you believe in that? And you think that's where we should go?
No, I don't really believe in it. And, you know, you have to consider the source and all this stuff. If Rick is trotting around the country touting this to a bunch of people who could care less, that's a little bit ridiculous. I mean, he ought to be down here doing his job. Rick Perry running around the country and telling people they should come to Texas. I mean, it's just a horrible idea on many levels.
Okay. On what levels is it a horrible idea?
Well, we don't want them to come to Texas, number one. Number two, the last thing we need, we do not need these businesses with sweetheart deals and slush funds coming down here. I mean, all it does is Texas workers get that's what usually happens. And Perry talks about all these big outfits that he's brought down here when we're 48th in education. I mean, that's ridiculous. We can't even say thank God for Mississippi, you know. They're saying thank God for Texas.
What's wrong with Texas education?
Probably what's wrong with it is the Democrats have the idea of throwing money at it. The Republicans have vouchers. I say do whatever works, but the buck starts here, and that means getting these revenues that I'm talking about that are already rolling into Colorado. I mean, you know, you can just look; it is working. And then you fix education any way you can, because right now we're not in a good state. Right now, the good teachers and the great teachers are getting out. Combination of low pay and political correctness and this tax test that they have, or the testing that you know, doesn't let you teach kids how to think, which is what education really is. So why would a place that is so wonderful, has such a wonderful business climate, be 48th in education? You kind of got to ask that one.